our last class? So we were yeah, vertebrates. Okay, so body movements and all those things which we saw. So we were talking about unicellular organism, multicellular organism, and on those things which we were discussing during our last class. Okay, I don't want anyone to annotate. And we saw about skeletal system and all those things. We also now talked about yes, vertebrates and invertebrates. Okay, what is the difference, major difference between a vertebrate and an invertebrate? Major difference between vertebrate and an invertebrate? What is present in vertebrates and what is not present in invertebrates? Okay, very good. So vertebrates, you have bone. What bone? Oh, they, yes, good. They have backbone, and the backbone is absent in the invertebrates. Okay, so can you just tell me some of the examples of invertebrates? Example of invertebrates. Very good. Caterpillar, spider. Okay, snake. What about vertebrates? What about vertebrates? Okay, human, lion, very good. Elephant, good. Animals, okay. Okay, not. All right, very good. Fish, very good. Fish, whale, good. Fine. And we also talked about exoskeleton. What is called as exoskeleton? What is called as exoskeleton? What is called as exoskeleton? Okay, hard shell covering, yes. Outer skeleton. Okay, exoskeleton is called as outer skeleton, but they have a covering which is very hard, and that's called as exoskeleton. Can you just name some of the exoskeletal animal or insects? Crab, okay. Shellfishes, oysters, very good. Lobster, good. Okay, so those things, the crustaceans, everything comes under the exoskeleton. Okay, so that was the thing which we were discussing during our last class. Now we'll move on to the new topic. Just a minute. I'll just share the. So we are going to talk about, today you'll be talking about the earthworm. Okay, so we'll be discussing about the earthworm. So how does an earthworm move? Okay, so one major specificity of earthworm. Can you tell me what is the major specificity of earthworm? Major specificity of earthworm? Very good. Segmented body. Okay. Yes, they have segmented body. Mainly they do have segmented body. Okay, so earthworm, they also belong to the invertebrates since they don't have backbone which is present in the body. They belong to the invertebrates class. and they have this liquid kind of skeleton. Yes, they do have liquid kind of skeleton. When you touch the earthworm, probably you can able to find it is very slopy in nature because of the liquid thing which is present, liquid skeleton which is present on top of it. There will be a fluid will be present. Okay, so they will be present on the entire body of them. And what how the vertebrates move is like the muscles in the body just contract and relax. Okay, so just like a heartbeat, it just contracts and relaxes, right? And you call it as that lub and dub sound is because of the contraction and the relaxation. Similarly, the muscles which is present in the earthworm, what happens is it just contracts and relaxes itself. So why do they do is for locomotion process. Because of locomotion, they do this muscle contraction and relaxation will be done. And this is done against the fluid. Okay, so even though the fluid will be present in them, what happens is like it doesn't create any problem. And the fluid also helps in the contraction and relaxation of the muscle in the earthworm. Okay, so this actually this main contraction and relaxation is done for the locomotion. And they have this they now they have told you to observe the earthworm. Probably when you find an earthworm in you near your area, you can able to identify and make note of it. Now we'll move on to the, I'll just show you a picture and how the exact the movement is done, and we'll just go to the topic. Okay, so page number 107. So this is how the movement of the earthworm will be done. Okay, so earthworms, they have tiny hair-like structures which is called as bristles. The tiny hair-like structures in the earthworm, you call it as bristles. Okay, so this bristles helps in providing friction. Okay, so why they need provide friction is like they have to grip in the soil. So the bristles helps in providing the friction which helps to grip the soil. So we already know earthworm is called as the farmer's friend, right? They used to turn all the degraded waste into manure. Earthworm plays a vital role, so they need to grip the soil to do the purpose. And this the mainly thing is like bristles will be present on the earthworm. Yes, so that helps in the gripping of the soil. So when an earthworm moves, what happens is like this front end of the earthworm, what happens that the front end becomes long and thin. Okay, so when it is moving like this, okay, what happens is like this area, okay, this part of the area will be the frontal area, and this will be called as the rear area. So front end becomes long and thin and the rear becomes short and thick. So first it is like this. What happens is like contraction will be done. Okay, this is front area and this will be the back area. So when the muscle movement is done, this becomes thin in nature and it becomes long. Similarly, this becomes the rear end becomes bulged in nature and it will be thick in nature. Okay, so this rear end becomes short and thicker, while as the frontal end becomes long and thin. So long and thin, the front end becomes long and thin, whereas the rear end becomes thicker. And what happens after that is like, this is why this is taking place, why this exchange of the sizes are taking place, because of the contraction and relaxation. The muscle is doing the contraction and relaxation, no, that because of that only this what happened, the interchanging of the muscles or the interchanging of the sizes in the area is being done. And what happens, and so how they'll be moving in the soil. So they will be moved in the soil and the repeated contraction and relaxation will be done. So first this rear and the front end becomes thick, then becomes thin first normally, and after that what happens, it becomes thin, the front end becomes thin and the back end becomes thick, followed by again the front end becomes thick, and back end becomes thick, so thin. So the locomotion is being done, so it is repeated. Okay, the process will be repeated one after the another, so the contraction will be repeated by the relaxation. So they have the they what happens while they are moving. Okay, they several they will be covered with the slimy substance, so they'll be covering themselves with the slimy substance. So this slimy substance is not so pleasant smell, it is an unpleasant smell. So that's why when the earthworm, when you touch and all, you have this unpleasant smell. But that why they are doing is like to protect it from the predators also, but also to movement. Okay, so the movement is being done. Why? Because it is moving in the help of the with the help of the muscle, and because of that only they secrete a slimy layer on top of them, so that there will be no bad friction will be caused. Okay, the friction will be stopped, the unpleasant friction will not be there. So because of that only they will be secreting the slimy substances on the top of them, and that helps in the movement of the earthworm. And so this is how the earthworm movement is being done. So first thing to be noted in the earthworm is it is an invertebrate. First major topic of this is invertebrates. It's an invertebrate. So when you talk about the invertebrate, of course it doesn't, so it doesn't have the backbone. And the next one is like they'll always have some kind of fluid which is present on top of them. And what happens, they'll be moving with the help of muscles, followed by contraction of the muscle and relaxation of the muscle is being done. And then comes the front end and the rear end. So frontal end, first thing will be the front end, followed by the rear end, back one. But when the movement is being done, the frontal end will become thin, while as the back end will be thick in nature, so followed by the contraction. So to provide not any rough friction, they'll always secrete some kind of fluid, okay, slimy layer on the top of them. Slimy layer is like a jelly like substances on top of them. They don't cause any pleasant smell, the odor will be very unpleasant, and that helps in the movement. Okay, so this is why mainly it is mainly done for the locomotion process. Okay, so this is called as the earthworm locomotion or movement of the earthworm. Are you clear, or do you have any doubts, children? Any doubts? Okay, social ma'am is not available today, so I'm taking the class. Very good. Okay, so everyone, are you clear? Okay, so now tell me, how do the earthworm move? How the earthworm move? How does the earthworm move? With what do they help in the movement? Very good. So contraction and relaxation is done with what? Contraction and relaxation is done with the help of snake. Yes, of course snake goes, but the snake does not contract and relax. No, snake doesn't contract and relax. No, my body bristles are small legs. Okay, bristles is nothing but the small legs which is present. They have this legs, right? They have the legs. Bristles are different from muscles. Yeah, of course they have the moisture content. Moisture content is like a jelly like thing which is present. Yes, very good. With the help of muscles. Okay, I see only few replying like Advika and Jason, Gomati. What about the others? Okay, fluid. Okay. So now earthworm, is the earthworm vertebrate or an invertebrate? Is the earthworm vertebrate or an invertebrate? Okay. Is the yeah, very good. It's an invertebrate. Good. All right. So how is when the contraction is done, what happens to the front end? During the process of contraction, what happens to the front end? Very good. In front, it becomes long. Good. Yeah, it becomes thin. Whereas the back one, it becomes the, okay. So why this mainly the expansion and contraction and these things are done for what? What is the main purpose of this? Very good. Mainly for locomotion. Good. I hope you're clear with it. We'll just move on to the next topic. So the next topic will be how do snails move? Okay, have you all seen the snail? Yes. Okay. So the snail, does it go fast or very slow? What about the snail's exoskeleton? What about the snail's exoskeleton? Is it very hard or soft? Yes, they have the shell. Very good. Yeah, they go very slowly. Yes. Okay. So what is the speciality of the snail? What do they have in them on the top of the face? Okay, you have seen the snail. Good. Okay, shell is used for hiding. Okay. Oh, very good, Jotham. They have antennas. Good. So antennas helps them to predict the thing and immediately they just go inside the thing. That's the main thing for the antenna. So now we'll be moving on to the movement in the snail or locomotion in the snail. Okay, so snail, we already know it's a very slow thing, and the snail, the body is like it is soft, very soft and unsegmented. What is called as segmented and unsegmented? Is the main thing you call it as segmented and unsegmented? Is the earthworm segmented or unsegmented? Is the earthworm segment? Very good. They have the division of, yes. What? Snail is unsegmented, okay. And earthworm is? Earthworm? What about the earthworm? Yes, earthworms are segmented. Okay, so simple words, if you have to put it, segmented and unsegmented is like they'll be having what pair of lines, okay, or a pair of things which in the body, so that's called as segmented or unsegmented. Okay, so unsegmented is not properly arranged or thing. Amoeba, when you talk about the amoeba, it is not, it is unsegmented. Yes, you cannot segment it in thing. But paramecium, okay, there will be two division. They can be segmented equally into two division. So that is called as segmented or unsegmented. And snail, okay, snail is unsegmented. You have to call the snail as an unsegmented, and they are not equally segmented in the body. So first thing is snail, they are unsegmented. One major thing of snail is snails are unsegmented, and what happens is like they have a pair of tentacles. So antennas are tentacles. Okay, so they have two pairs of tentacle. So one will be large and the other one is small. So the large one, what happens? The large pair has the eye spots. So the large area, the large tentacle, they have the eye spot. So they have the eye spots, so they can able to look in from the tentacles, and how they will be moving. Now coming to the locomotion. uh, movement of the snail. So how does the snail move? So snail moves with the help of, again, muscular, not any other bone, with the help of muscular. So they have this muscular foot, also muscular body. So with the help of muscular foot and muscular body, they'll be moving, and the body, the area of the body which is involved is belly. Okay, so the belly is involved, and the belly helps in the movement. So muscular foot will be followed by the belly, and they'll be moving it. And this movement of the snail will be in a wavy movement. Okay, so movement of the snail will be in wavy movement, and again they have the slimy substance with them. So they also have the slimy substance in them, but this slimy substances is called as mucus. So we have the mucus in your nose and all, right? Mucus layer or mucus substance. So in the area of mucus layer, it helps in the protection. Okay, so protection from the bacteria and viruses. And similarly here, this mucus layer will be present in the snail, and they'll be producing as jelly like substances, because to avoid to avoid some kind of friction, because they are moving in the with the help of muscular body. So because of that only, slimy substances is present, and that's called of mucus. And also what happens when the crawling, okay, when the snail just crawls, right, that area will be leaved with a trail of mucus. So when they are moving, they'll be leaving the trail of mucus in them. So along with the shell also will be dragged along with them. Okay, so this is what the movement of the snail is all about. So first thing is, they'll be having soft and unsegmented body. The body is not segmented properly. Okay, so next one is pair of tentacle. They do have two pair. Okay, so they have two pairs of tentacles. One will be large and the other one will be small. So the large one, you call it as they have the eye spot in them. Small one is like they're just used for the communication process, like they to find any kind of substances which is present around them, predatory things or else. So they just go inside the shell of the body because of that only. And the movement will be done with the help of muscular foods. Okay, I don't want anyone to switch on your cameras. Okay, before so switch off your cameras, Shri Kurali, Jivisha, and good. Okay, so movement, muscular foot, and how they are doing is muscular foot. With the help of muscular foot, they'll be going like muscular foot, muscular body, and the belly. So the belly will be covered with them, so they help in movement of that along with the muscular foot. And when they are moving, what happens, they leave a trail in them. Why? Because they cover themselves with slimy substances. So the slimy substances have is like a jelly like thing which is present on the body, which is made up of mucus layer or mucus substances will be secreted, and they will be moving in a wavy motion. So that helps in the crawling of the snail, and they'll be leaving the mucus trail also between them. Okay, so this is called as the movement of snail. Are you clear, or do you have any doubts? Are you clear, children, or do you have any doubts? Walk with the jail. Yes, snail don't have bones. Good. Yes, water sticky substances. What, Mark? You didn't have Science2 exam. Good. Okay, so now we'll move on to the question and answer session. Now just tell me, if snail belongs to the vertebrate or the invertebrate? Snail belongs to vertebrate or invertebrate? Very good. They belong to the invertebrate. What is the slimy layer in the snail called as? Slimy layer of the snail called as? Good. They are called as mucus. How many pair of tentacles are present? How many pair of tentacles is present? Good. Very good. They have two. And what is the body part which is involved in the locomotion? What is the part? Yes, very good. Belly. Along with belly, what else? Belly and leg. Good, Arpika. Good. And movement is done in the wavier motion. So while it's moving, what is left behind them? While it's moving, what will be left behind them? Trail will be left behind them. Good. Okay. So with this, I'll just stop. Do you have any doubts? Are you having any doubts, ma'am? Okay. So next, we'll meet in the next class. That is, you are having your science 2 class next period, right? You'll be meeting, and we'll meet that in next class then. Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.